When you cast out a float rig, a float indicator will become visible. The indicator shows the float's movements while in the water. Pay close attention, as it will indicate when a fish has taken the bait. When the float icon begins twitching, it indicates that a fish is nibbling your bait. This is your cue to get ready to strike, but be patient. If you strike before the fish bites, you won't be able to set the hook and you will lose the fish. The float icon will twitch violently when you get a bite, indicating it's time to strike the rod and set the hook. The quality of your strike is determined by its swiftness, direction of the strike action, and timing after the fish bites. The better the strike quality, the less chance you have of losing the fish. With the hook set, it's time to fight the fish. Sometimes, when float fishing, you may wish to alter the hook length. This allows you to adjust how deep below the float your bait is hanging. To do this, press this button and use these buttons to adjust the hook length. There are limits to how far you can adjust the hook length, but it can make all the difference when it comes to presenting your bait in front of the fish. Observation and timing are crucial for catching fish on a float rig. So, remain vigilant and you will consistently be netting fish. When you cast out, the lure indicator will become visible. The retrieval is the type of action you perform to make a lure move through the water, but it's how you move the lure that can increase the chances of getting bites. The text will show what type of retrieve you are currently performing, and the indicator will change colour to represent the effectiveness of your retrieve. Red indicates the least effective, and green the most optimal. The quality of your retrieval motion will affect your chances of hooking fish. The depth indicator shows the relative position of the lure in the water. Based on the lure's stats, the crankbait is more effective at attracting fish while under a constant or stop and go retrieve. A constant retrieve is performed by constantly reeling in. How fast this crankbait is reeled in will impact the depth it dives to. Depth and retrieve quality are displayed and updated in real time based on your reel speed and rod movements. If you want to retrieve at lower depths, try increasing your reel speed. You're not going to get a bite on every retrieve, but to increase those chances, you want to keep casting out and retrieving. The longer your lure is in the water, the better chance you have of attracting a bite. This lure is effective using a stop and go retrieve. To perform a stop and go retrieval, reel in at a moderate speed and then stop briefly before reeling again, then repeat. The lure indicator will provide feedback between multiple retrieves. Some lures are effective under multiple retrieval actions, which is indicated by the lure's stats. Looking at the lure's stats, you can see this popper is a topwater lure and is most effective at attracting fish while under a twitch or stop and go retrieve. Topwater lures will always skim across the top of the water, but how they vibrate on the water's surface is what makes it irresistible to a fish. To perform a twitch retrieve, you want to reel in your line slowly, whilst making quick successive twitches of your rod tip in the desired direction, followed by a pause. When drop shotting or performing a twitch retrieve, you may want to manipulate the lure with a bit more finesse. To do this, hold down the finesse control button, as this limits the range of movement on your rod. With this button held down, move your rod in any direction to make short, sudden twitches. Fishing an area with the right equipment and retrieval techniques is essential for attracting and triggering bites from predatory fish.